Welcome, welcome, welcome to episode 237 of the show with no name. I'm your humble host, Nick, and in today's episode, we're going to be visiting another one of these little old farmer cemeteries out here in the middle of nowhere in Washington State. This cemetery goes by the name of the Lentz Cemetery. Let's get into this. This is definitely a family cemetery out here because there's only two people buried here that don't share the same name, Lentz, as everybody else. And I'm going to start this episode off today talking about Charlie Lentz. And he was born in Oregon on June 7th, 1900. And he was a wheat farmer who passed away at the age of 68 on June 12th, 1968, of a heart attack out here in the Odessa, Washington area. Christian Lentz was an immigrant born in southern Russia on January 24th, 1859. And him and his family would immigrate out here, and he would end up passing away at the age of 83 of pneumonia. He's not the only Christian Lentz that I'm going to talk about in this episode today. There was another boy who went by the name of Christian Lentz, and he passed away tragically at the age of 4 because he got kicked by a horse. And this was quite common out in the farmer days out here in Washington State. Quite a number of children died due to accidents like this. Kick by horse proves fatal. 4-year-old boy loses consciousness for 2 weeks without once showing the slightest signs of returning consciousness from the time he was kicked in the head by the old family horse 2 weeks ago. Earl Lentz, the 4-year-old son of Mr. and Mrs. Chris Lentz, farmers north of Krupp, Washington, died early yesterday afternoon at St. Luke's Hospital. The boy had been slowly sinking since the time of the injury, and his passing from stupor into death was so imperceptible that it might not have been known for some minutes had not the doctors been expecting the end and watching closely. The body was removed to the Gilman undertaking room and will be taken back to Krupp today for burial. When injured, the lad had been swinging on the barnyard gate near the watering trough, and the old horse came to drink. In a playful spirit, the horse whirled and kicked, and his hoof struck the boy in the back of the head, fracturing his skull. The boy was hurried to Spokane, but the doctors from the onset held out no hope for his recovery. There's another tragedy out here in the Lentz Cemetery that I wanted to talk about in this episode. And the tragedy that I'm referring to is the fire of November 17th, 1958, that killed 2 brothers, David and Delbert Lentz. David was just 11 months old at the time of the house fire, and his older brother Delbert was just 7. And they're buried here together in the cemetery. Last but not least, I want to finish this episode talking about one other person that was buried out in this old farmer family cemetery, and her name was Lily Lentz. Lily was born on February 2nd, 1922 in Marlin, Washington, and she would pass away at the young age of 3 on April 17th, 1925, of influenza and pneumonia, which was common out here at the time. I hope you've enjoyed my documentation of the Lentz Cemetery out here in the Odessa, Washington area. I've really been enjoying coming to these cemeteries out here in the area, and I have a few more left, so stay tuned. Thank you.